I'm here today with the Make a Difference program.
I love watching Ufam TV.
It's just the newest right now in our country, Uganda.
Where we make a difference
in people's lives. Please follow us in all social media platforms.
Don't forget to watch Ufam TV.
I love watching Ufam TV. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Wow, our wonderful viewers, it is just such an amazing time with you again. This is your everyday host, Evangelist Akinyi Louisa from Unity of Faith Apostolic Ministries. Thank you so much for connecting with us. Thank you so much for loving Ufam TV. Thank you so much for always keeping around. Please, like I told you, we have amazing programs to lift your spirit, just to encourage you, to create a difference in your mighty life. This is the program called Woman Arise. We are always here. We are always here to our wonderful women out there, to bring strength to them, to bring hope, to bring a smile once again, and to tell you, you can make it. You can make it once again. You can stand and rise again. I told you, don't miss out. We have very many programs, like my father's program that is called Making a Difference. He's going to bring amazing people. He's going to teach you a lot of things that are going to help you to have a difference in your society. We have another program that is Roses in Marriage, that is hosted by my mother, Prophetess Mercy. Please always come in. You are married, you don't know what is next, you don't know what to do. Tune in that mighty program. You will be blessed. Today, I am not alone here. I came with a very amazing woman of God. She's so beautiful. She is going to tell us more about her. She's a pastor, and she is our pastor at Ufam. So she's going to introduce herself to you. She's going to share her journey with God with you. And I'm very sure you're going to like it, and you will be spirit lifted. Please, so stay on, don't go off. As I come back, you will look at her and you will hear her amazing voice. Welcome back, our wonderful viewers. Thank you so much for staying around. Please invite a friend, invite a relative, invite everybody. Please, thank you so much for staying around. Like I told you, when I come back, I have our wonderful guest here. Ooh! Check who we have today. You're so much welcome, woman of God.
Thank you, thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for looking beautiful.
Oh, glory be to God.
Amen, amen. So today, this is Woman Arise.
Yes.
This is a very wonderful program. Okay. I want you to speak to our beautiful viewers. They want to hear about you. They want to know your name. They want to know where are you from. They're saying you're beautiful, but now they want to know extra details. Please introduce yourself to our wonderful viewers.
Hey, our beautiful viewers. I am Sarah.
Wow.
Pastor Sarah from Ufam Church, Uganda, in Mukono. And I am a children pastor there.
Wow.
Thank you for watching us, and stay tuned. Thank you.
So today I decided I'm not going to go out a little like always. Today I looked around and I got one of our pastors. She's called Pastor Sarah. She loves children so much. She's our Ufam pastor. Wow. So you've not told people you're married, you're single? Please explain this thing in detail.
Woman of God, I am single.
She's single.
Yeah.
She's single. Wow, that is beautiful.
But with a very handsome son. Yeah.
Wow. She's single but with a very handsome son. I think you see where we are going. So, woman of God, this is Woman Arise.
Yes.
We want to breathe in strength and life to a woman out there dying alone.
Yes.
So, like I told you, we don't want to look at the beautiful side alone and enjoy it alone.
Yeah.
We believe we can pull somebody out there.
Yes.
Last time as we were discussing, you had a very powerful testimony, and I want you to tell our beautiful viewers, there is something I realized. Today you're a pastor,
Yeah.
but Yesterday, I believe, when I heard of your testimony, you were not a pastor.
True.
I want you to speak to somebody out there who thinks her past can define. Her past can define her. Who thinks she can't serve God because of her past. You get my point?
Yes.
So I want you to, we are going to move slowly as you explain. You've told us you are single.
Yes.
You're a pastor.
Yes.
And you have a wonderful son.
Yes.
So how did you get this son? And how are things working out now? I want to know something, please.
Okay, our dear viewers, yes, as I already told you that I have a handsome son who is 14 years old.
My God.
He just finished his primary 7 today.
My God.
This year. And it is a long story, but I will make it brief. So I am somebody from a very big family. We grew up around 24 children in number. So we had stepmothers.
Wow.
On my mother, we were 5, 2 passed on, and we remained 3.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I was brought up by my another mom.
You were brought up by a stepmother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in your father's home.
Yes.
Okay.
All of us, we grew up together from different moms, but one family.
Yeah.
So she was good. I cannot say that she was bad, but the problem came, my father used to overlove me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is a man who used to move with me all around.
I understand.
Yeah, because the whole story, the whole scenario began when I was young. Because when my mother gave birth to me, that is what I'm told. She went blind.
Sorry.
Yeah, completely blind, and she was taken back to her country.
Yes.
Yeah, because her original country was Kenya. So they came for her and they took her back. So it so happened it's my father who used to take care of me. Yeah. So he never allowed other mothers to take care of me. So I used to be his handbag.
I understand.
Yeah. So I used to move around with him. So this thing grew up until when I reached in senior 1. I was so much favored compared to others. And whenever he would eat something, he had to call, where is my daughter? And he gives me. So
wow, so you gain so much favor from your father.
Yes.
And your mother is not around.
Yes.
You are with a stepmother.
True.
So I can believe how the woman would feel at that moment.
True.
Because this is a stepdaughter gaining a lot of favor.
Yeah.
So, woman of God, I want to know, how did you get to a point that you're not home?
Yeah.
And then you have a child?
Yes.
Because I believe 14-year-old, that means you got this baby when you were a little young.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so how did you get to that point of leaving home and...
Yeah, the thing of my father loving me so much
Yeah.
is the one which brought me problems.
Whoa,
Because
my
one day
God.
my mother woke up. I'm talking about the mother who brought me up. So she woke up and she was like, my husband telling my father, either her or me,
Oh, shut
one
up,
of them,
Kadaba.
one of us has to get out of this house. Yeah, and the other one was the wife and I am the daughter, So he had to balance,
It is a
had to
dilemma now.
choose from which side.
So the mom told him you're
Yeah.
going to choose either me or
her.
Sarah.
Yeah, and so my father chose the other side. Yeah, and he told me, my daughter, I love you so much.
But you have to go.
But either you go to Mbale or you go to Kenya.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
but you have to go.
How did you feel? Because I believe since you were your father's favorite, you also loved your father so much. And then your father has to drop you at that moment because of somebody. Your father just got along the way,
True.
or along the journey.
True. The pain I felt, I can never
understand.
describe it.
Oh, sorry.
Because this is a man or a friend or a father I knew all my life. I loved him with all my heart.
Oh God.
He is the person who would advise me, my daughter this, my daughter this. So now, it so happens I have to depart from him out of the blue. So it really broke me up.
So where did you go? They've told you either go to Mbali or you go to Kenya. Where? Because you told us earlier your mother was in Kenya.
Yeah.
So where did you go?
She was from Kenya. This time my mother had already passed on.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. By the time they are sending you to go there, your mother is already
Yes.
late.
Yes, because my mother passed on when I was in primary 5. Yeah, that is when she passed on. So by the time this is happening, she's no more.
Sorry.
Yeah. So when they told me, when my mom asked my father that, so my father told me, my daughter, I have to go. I cried, of course, like any other young child could do, because I didn't know where to go for sure. Because all my life it has been my father. Now, I went to our neighbor. Our neighbor had a shop. I went there crying. You know, they usually knew me as a stubborn, jolly girl. So she was like, what is happening, Sarah? I was like, they've chased me at home. Mom has said I have to leave home, and my father has told me I have to go. So this woman was like, now what are you going to do? Then I was like, I don't know. So she was like, all what I can do for you is to give you this 10,000, but nothing much. So this lady gives me 10,000, and I had on me that 10,000. So I go home, I get my shoes. In fact, I didn't change to any other cloth. How I was dressed that day, I just walked up to the main road. Then I didn't know where to go, either this side or this side. I just stood. So the taxi which came was calling people going to Kampala. And I also entered in.
And you went to Kampala?
I entered, it drove up to Kampala.
Our dear viewers, I don't know if you're really following this amazing story. This is a young girl. It reaches a point whereby the father has to choose either her or the wife. This is a new wife. Her mother has already passed on. So she's so confused, she does not know what to do or where to go. So when she gets out, she goes to a nearby neighbor, and the only help the neighbor offered was to give her 10,000. 10,000 is not a lot of money in Ugandan currency. So she's so stranded, she's at the road, and then she gets a taxi, public vehicles, to take her where she doesn't know. So she decides to go to Kampala. You decide to go to town. Did you know anyone there?
In which town?
In Kampala.
I didn't know anyone.
Wow, you didn't know anyone there.
Remember I told you I reached on the road, I didn't know which way to
So
go.
you just took that.
So the taxi which came was calling
This
Kampala.
is so amazing.
I boarded Kampala.
So when you reached to Kampala,
they told us to get out.
oh my God.
And this is a village girl from Bujiri.
What was the time?
It was around 3 p.m. in the evening.
Okay.
So I got out. It was the old tax park. Because where they dropped us, you could look down and see taxis down. Yeah, so it was the old tax park. I sloped and sat.
Where?
Where's the taxi?
Oh my
on the road.
God.
Because when you slope, there are ladders, there are stairs going down.
I know that.
So
place.
that is where I sat on the sides.
Okay.
And I looked at the taxis because I'm coming from the village. It's rarely to see such.
So Bujiri is in the eastern of Uganda. So it is kind of a village. She goes to the capital city of Uganda. She's stranded when she reaches there. She doesn't know where to go. She knows no one. So she sat there.
Yeah.
It is 3 p.m., 1500 hours.
And very hungry.
Very hungry.
Yeah, because remember from home I hadn't eaten anything.
Oh, sorry.
My mother is not happy with me, so I couldn't get anything to eat. So in Kampala I'm seated with nothing and very hungry.
So you sit up to what time? I am so interesting in this whole thing. I don't know if our wonderful viewer, you also following this.
So I sat.
Okay.
There is a wet time, rain very fast. Without me knowing, it started becoming dark.
My God.
And here when it became dark, so many lights, I was like, what is this place? Because us in the village, it's always darkness. In fact, our home by then, it was the only home with electricity. So now in Kampala, everything is different.
Everywhere, because it is a city.
So many lights, I didn't know where to go. I didn't know. So I started crying.
Oh,
yeah, I started crying, and I kept on crying for some good time because I didn't know what to do till it was dark. Then people are bypassing me as usual, you know, Kampala, they don't mind. So after a lengthy time, somebody came and called me, young girl. Somebody tapped on me.
Okay.
What is the problem?
Okay.
So when he tapped on me, he was a gentleman, a bit mature. What is the problem? When I looked at him, I just busted out in tears and cried more.
Oh, shut up.
So I think in his mind, he thought, maybe I'm hungry. Yes, true, I was hungry.
But again, there is this pressing need again.
Exactly, which was
have
more
a
than
home.
hunger.
Yeah.
And above all, it was dark. I didn't know where to go next. So he touched in his pocket, removed money, gave me. So this man gave me 20,000. I looked at it, I just kept on crying. So I think he moved and reached somewhere and looked back and saw the girl whom he had given money was still in tears.
Wow. So, our wonderful viewers, we are still on this wonderful story. So she's stuck, she doesn't know where to go, she doesn't know what to do. So after a lengthy time, it is late in the night, a gentleman comes, finds her crying. So this gentleman is asking, what is wrong? She's not speaking. Maybe the gentleman thought she's hungry. So when the gentleman tries to go, and then look back, you're still seated there.
Yeah, because after I saw him come back again, like I just heard him tap on me again. What is the problem? Why are you still crying? Yet I've given you money.
Okay.
Then I was like, I have nowhere to go.
My God.
Then he was like, where do you come from? And then I didn't answer that question. I just cried more. So he was like, do you know any person where any of your relatives stay in here in Kampala? For sure I didn't know anyone. So I just kept on crying. I didn't answer him. So he was touched and he told me, can we go with me? Can you go with me?
So you're going back home with a stranger?
Whom I don't know.
Oh God. It is late in the night.
True. But then by that time, he was an angel sent to me. Because for sure, I didn't know where to go. With all the hunger and the so many lights in the park, I didn't know where I was going. Because
It's
I
a
was,
city. Oh, wow.
yeah.
So you went home?
Yeah, I went with him. He was sleeping on Entebbe Road.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Najana Nkumbi.
Entebbe Road.
Yeah.
Wow. So tell me something. When you reach home, is the gentleman married? Is the gentleman single? So now we are getting to the real heart of the matter.
Okay.
So when you reach at home, what is next?
Yeah, when I reached home, I was still in tears. That thing of my father chasing me from home, it really affected me so much. So I kept on crying. So the man was like, what is the problem? I think he was really perturbed. He kept on looking at me. I was in tears. He tried to prepare some meal to give me. I was in tears. Then out of the blue, he was like, but tomorrow I'm going to Rwanda. How am I going to leave you here when you're like this? I just kept quiet. So the night reached. I had to sleep. He went to sleep. He was a gentleman. He didn't touch me.
That is beautiful.
Yeah. So the following
So we
morning...
still have good people out here.
Yeah, they are. Tomorrow morning, the following morning, he had to board to go to Rwanda. He was working with International Committee of Red Cross.
Wow.
Yeah. So he had to go to Rwanda and he had to go with me.
So you so you were this serious. The woman of God, after meeting the so-called angel, he said he was a gentleman, he didn't touch her, nothing happened. Like, you know, sometimes we think maybe you find a stranger, something will happen to you. She's still a young girl. So the gentleman, it's time for him to travel, go do his errands. The woman of God refuses. He says, I think we have to go together. So you go together in Rwanda, then you come back.
We came back to Kabale, and yes, I was still in tears. So I think I had developed depression because with time he had to take me to a counselor.
My God.
Yeah, because tears was like a daily routine to me.
So you were depressed about
Yeah,
what
true,
your father
true.
did.
I kept on crying morning, evening, lunch. I could not even sleep all the time. I would be in tears. So I think he was concerned and took me to a counselor. I passed through that session for 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah, every day I had to go and
So I want you to speak to our wonderful viewers.
yes.
God helped you. You found this
Angel.
angel. He gave you where to sleep. He took care of you.
Yeah.
So how do you get pregnant? Because now I'm really so curious, and I believe our wonderful viewer is also inquisitive much.
Sure.
How do you get pregnant? Are you still with this young man? I don't know. Please tell us, how do you get to that level? Because you've told us you got depressed.
Yeah.
You went through counseling for like
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah.
So is my God, I'm just enjoying this.
I am not with that man again, because after a period of 3 years with him, we cut ties. I realized I liked him as a person, but I didn't love him, because now I was a bit mature, and I think I knew what I wanted.
Along the journey, this man wanted you now, like for a relationship, marriage,
As
what?
a wife.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because
how did this come? Like, I want you to tell our dear viewer out how is it patching from helping you,
Yeah.
from the counseling,
Yes.
and then to the issue
To
of
the
you
mother.
being a wife, and then you say the mother.
Yeah.
Okay, so how are you bringing this together into the picture?
And now, depression thing for 6 months, I started coming back to normal. He was very good, cared for me, ate, drank, moved
the
around to
process.
good places. Yeah, and life started coming back to its normal. So I was back again to a jolly person. So after 1 year, still a gentleman, no touching. After 1 year, he was my friend. We
Staying
started
where?
with him.
Wow.
With him. He had children, 3 of them. He had children, 3 of them. And they would come back for holiday, they would find me there, they'd go back. The children became my friends because naturally I love children.
How were they calling you?
Auntie,
And how was this man calling you at that
by
time?
name Sarah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for 1 year, it was all like that. After 1 year, things started moving in a different direction. Yeah. And that is how I got pregnant and gave birth.
So after this 1 year, he tries to confess it to you that he needs you as a wife,
Yeah.
or he needs you as a girlfriend. So
As a wife.
As a wife.
Yeah.
And then you got pregnant. This man, was he a born again?
No, he was a Muslim.
He was a Muslim.
Yeah.
Wow, he has kids.
Yeah,
He also
true.
had, because we understand for Muslims, it is very okay for them to get 4 wives, 3 wives. It is very okay. So you were number what?
No, he did have any wife.
Really? So, because you spoke about something of kids.
Yes, true. He had children, but he didn't have a wife.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you admitted you also decided to settle with this man. You decided to sit. And
It
then
wasn't like admitting. He confessed his feelings, yes, but me as a person, I needed where to stay.
Oh my God!
I couldn't go back
Our
to where
wonderful viewer, are
they
you
sent me away.
sensing this? So she ends up into a marriage she's not interested in, but the fact that she doesn't have where to stay, she doesn't have where to go, she has no relative, so she's ending up into marriage. She's already pregnant now. Remember, at first she was depressed. So we are looking at this young girl. This is Uganda, whereby this is very normal. Young girls are getting married anyhowly, unwanted marriages, unwanted pregnancies, because they are homeless. Sometimes they don't have food. Sometimes they don't know what to do. They are confused. Oh my God, this is so amazing. So you didn't have where to go, you didn't have what to do, you had to just admit, and then you went on with life.
Yes, because he was a good person.
He was a good person.
Yeah. being that he was a Muslim, yes, but at heart, he had a golden heart. And up to now, I respect him for that.
You respect him for that.
True.
For that.
Yeah.
That is so wonderful. So you gave birth to a son. I
Yes.
heard you speak about you have a very beautiful boy.
And that was
is
2008.
2008.
Yeah.
Wow. So after giving birth, now you told me that you reached a time whereby you're now mature. You've realized now that you didn't love this man.
True.
But just because of circumstances, you didn't like him. But because of what you encountered along the journey, you decided to just stay with him. So I want you to tell our wonderful viewer, you go on with him or you decide to quit? Because right now, there is somewhere I want us to head to. Right now, you're a pastor.
Yes.
But we are still speaking about the old
Yeah.
Sarah now.
Yes.
You see. So you decide to move on, you decide to sit, you decide, I don't know. Please try to explain to us, how did it happen?
Yeah,
After you
so-
realizing you don't need this man, you don't love this man, okay,
Yeah.
but you need him.
That was after the birth of my son. I felt it in me that he's not my man.
You felt
Yeah.
it in you.
And he can also testify to it because I kept on telling him that I have to go. And he was like, why? Am I treating you any bad?
You're not at rate at that moment.
What is the problem? Remember, I wasn't born again. But I just had it in me that something was wrong somewhere. And the person I'm talking about was very kind and good. And he used to give me every life that I wanted.
Wow.
Yeah, so that is it. So one day I woke up and I felt like I don't want for sure.
You don't need this person anymore.
He had gone to work and left the money at home. And that is the way I marched out of there.
So you are used to marching out when you don't even know where you're going.
Yeah.
So this time around, where are you going?
No, now this time I marched out because I had a sister.
Wow, in Kampala?
Yes, in Kampala.
That is good.
And I knew her home. So I marched out of there, went to her home.
Wow.
True.
Our beautiful viewers. So this girl wakes up one morning and decides to quit this marriage and says, let me go out now. Let me start my life. I wouldn't settle with somebody I don't love because of me being homeless. So she goes to her sister.
Yeah.
Wow. So you left the baby behind.
Yes. Because whenever I kept on telling him that one day I'll go, he told me, make sure when you go, don't go with my son. Please don't go with my son. But the fear I had in me, why I didn't move with my son was, they chased me at home. How can I go with him again?
Wow.
So that is the
So
reason
you thought
why.
they would judge you in a certain way.
Yeah, though by now they knew. By the way, the story which I've left out is they looked for me and found me where I was.
So our wonderful viewers, we are still on this wonderful story of Pastor Sarah. She's a single mother. So we were trying to see how she comes up with this wonderful son and how she's becoming a mighty woman of God, serving God. Please stay tuned. As we come back, we want to look at the next phase. Now, how is she becoming a woman of God? How is God starting? How is this woman rising again? Remember, she said, I decided to move out. I said, I'm not supposed to. She refused to limit herself. When she gained the knowledge, she said, I have to take a step. So when we come back, we want to know how the woman in her is rising for her to end up serving God. Stay tuned. Don't go off.